Yeah, amazing traders. Welcome back to my channel. This another trade call. First one, I'm going to start with the EURUSD. So let's dive into the chart. So this is 4 hours time frame. So if I switch to the daily time frame, right from this point, we can see that EURUSD is in an uptrend and price do trade from zone to zone. So you can see when it was dropping, coming from here all the way down here, then get here rejected. Now we must surely approach this level back. So we are trading all the way to this point. Now, how do we get in this trade? We check from here to here. This is like the middle of the chart, and you could see price break of it tested it. So we have from this point from to count, we have higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high. New structure here. So this is our new structure, and if from this low here, so checking from this is the last low and this is the last high. So I'm going to mark out this one here and also mark out this high here. I'm going to use the Fibonacci to from swing low to swing high. So if you check price very well, you see that price drop back all the way to Fibonacci 50, and this become a very strong level. But notwithstanding, most time I do like price coming inside this zone here, inside of it. That is where I used to have more confirmation entry. So I'm just going to put like a support level here like this. I would like price to come back inside of it here before going. So we might have that, we might not have that. And two, if I try to mark on this point here, I can see a trend line playing from here. If I connect these two together, you can see I connected this one to this one, then I drag forward. If I connected the two together, you can see that the price didn't come back to touch this trend line here for the third touch. And I would like price coming back for this third touch, give us our confirmation, give us more solid confirmation. So we have first confirmation, price is not trending above 50% retracement, but I would like it to come back in between it, which is this level I mapped out. And you can see this small level I draw here is a support level. So if I have to draw it and drag it back, I just connected it to this one, then I drag forward. So you can see it's respected it here. Second time, this will be first one time touching it again, at least touching this trend line and this support. If she's not touching support very well, maybe around this region, just touch it here, and that's going to be 3.3 inference meeting at the point, and which this zone is named called the winning zone. It's going to be a very strong zone. So if price should come here, touch this trend line for the third time and touch this support level, then you should see a bounce up right from there all this point to this, from all here to this high. And if I'm to calculate the pips, we're going to be having something 666 pips, and our stop loss is going to be something like just below this resistance level. So I would like taking an entry from here, stop loss here, and my target back to 2400. So if I go to this, if I try to check from the previous, so you can see this exactly where I'm targeting this area here. But if I want to target the high of this zone, which is this high, so that's 1.2400. So this is what I'm expecting on EURUSD. So you can wait for a nice pullback here. At market open, I'm expecting a gap. At least market should a little bit back to this region, do some little consolidation before. So you can see that even the bullish move, it's shallow candle. These candles are small, it's shallow compared to this red ones that is coming down. So we might still have another red dropping back here. Then right from this point, you can take it all the way back to this blue zone. So this is my expectation on EURUSD. And if price come here back to this zone, then you don't know how to get the entry. So you can also use this strategy as your entry confirmation. So just wait for this trend line to be taken out, this counter trend line that's coming. So you can see price can come to this trend line for the third time and finally drop back to this point. So once we have that drop back to this point, then we can take it from this point all the way. So what I'm expecting on EURUSD is a drop here first, then before the buy, the little sell before the buy. So this is all for EURUSD. I'm going to be going straight to the second pair, GBPUSD. So this GBPUSD right here in front of me. Present time on the 4 hours time frame. So you can see it looks similar to that of EURUSD as well. It does not have trend line here. Its own trend line is being broken. If I have to draw out the trend line for this one, you can see that the trend line was broken here and retested, and we have this pullback. So now looking at this bullish move that is going now, you can see that compared to this is just two red candles from this zone here. Two red candle that reaches bottom. But if you count the candles that is going up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 candles. 2 candles came down and about 6 candles is going up. Hasn't even gotten to that of the level. That states that the buyers is still weak, the sellers are strong. So what I'm expecting on GBPUSD is I would like price to come back here again. We're coming back to this zone again for a double bottom then we can go higher. That's what I'll be expecting on GBPUSD. Draw back into the zone, put in a double bottom, so you can see this is the zone I draw out here. They drop out to that zone for a double bottom, then we can go higher. That's the first. The second one is I'm going to use my counter trend line to sparking from this high, connect to this one, then drag it down. So I can use this as an entry confirmation. You can see that price is coming there for the third touch, so it can come to touch, then finally click the bottom. I'll now take the entry as break off. I'll take the entry as break off this counter trend line here. So once price is going like this again, I'm going to take my entry above that counter trend line. Then stop loss just come below. Your first TP one is going to be the previous high, which is this. So here represents our first level target. So here is our first level target, which is the east wall amount. Then we now go for the new high. But take we have found that one here, which is going to be our second level target. So anywhere you could see the market reacting and turning, and the market is always turning back like a turning point. So that's where your target level, that's where you take profits. Even if you are going for a higher high, you have to take a profit from those zones. The first level target is here, second level target is this one, then the third one is back to this, and this is going to be a risk of 1 to 11.61. If you ask me, this going to be a very good setup. But first, you want to wait for a break counter trend line before taking the trade. Make sure this trend line is taken out. So once this trend line is taken out, then you can take your entry all the way to this point. But once you are approaching this level, this way you want to be locking your profits, taking partial profit, because market can just come here, market can come here like this, market can move from here all the way to this point, then become a double top. So that's why you want to use this level to take partial profit. So this is all I'm seeing on GBPUSD. So you can do your own analysis before taking any trade. Make sure you do your analysis, and once taking the trade, apply proper money management to the trade. So this is my weekly forecast for GBPUSD. So you want to watch out for this pair, you want to watch out closely, and I'm going to bring straight to the third pair on my watch list today. So the USDCHF. On the USDCHF, if I go to the daily time frame, so let me show you something. So you will see right from history, CHF has always been stronger than the USD. Right from history, so you can just go in past, just watch, so you can see it. So you can see there was a time USD was stronger get to this point, but after this point, USD became more strong and price has been dropping, and then drop. Here we have some consolidation here, then finally broke out of it here. If you watch some of my previous videos on this channel, at the point where it was trading around this region, I think so, I used to analyze this pair for the drop, and we targeted this point, we drop off here. I said we want, then I drop another video for a pullback. So you can just go and watch those forecasts I did in previous. You already see these setups there. So, but presently, what I'm expecting on USDCHF, since we break out of here, we are broken out of here. So we have retest around this point, and now we are creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And characteristics of a downtrend is, like I said on when I was explaining EURUSD also, I said characteristics of an uptrend is the last low must not be taken out. So the same thing applied to characteristics of a downtrend. The last low must not be taken out. Once the last low is taken out, then the trend is in problem. So if I put a resistance here, you can see that here we have a little, and you can see price only break through this level, then it's came back for the retest, and we are now seeing a massive rejecting candle, which this is the last day candle close, which is Friday candle close, and you can see that it's rejecting right from that point. So if you check this there, this was the last low. You see that price didn't take out this last low. You could see that it didn't close above it, it still closed below the low. That's tell you that the low is valid. So the uptrend is still what? It's still very, very as much as very strong. So what are we going to be expecting? I'm expecting a drop off from here all the way down here. Now, how do I get this level? How do I know that price is dropping here? I'm just going to be using your Fibonacci too. If I take the Fibonacci, I draw from this is the last low, this is the last low, proceed to this one. So if I use this last low, draw Fibonacci from here, and this is the last lowest point market gets to. So I drag it forward like this. So you will see that this level is the Fibonacci extension. That's how I got the level. Deleting the Fibonacci. So what you want to wait for is go to the 4 hours time frame, forgetting this trade. Draw your counter trend line like this. So you want to make sure you touch this one and touch this one, then drag it forward. So this is what I'm expecting from this. A break of this counter trend line and a retest of it, which is why I have this. A break outside of here and a retest. Then I was expecting a drop off here. So it's going to be a high, a low, a high, then a low, a high, a low. So price just continue dropping till we get to this my green bar around 0.7771. On the round number, that's 0.770. So that's where I'm expecting USDCHF for a new low. So, but my first level target is going to be this previous. This will be my first level target. So I'm going to take in some profit from this level. Then once you break this level, my final level target is this one around this point. So my entry is going to be like this. Entry around there, stop loss above the previous low. This is previous high. So this is the previous high. My stop loss will be above it a little bit, like 5 pips to 10 pips above it. This is going to be 50 pips stop loss. You can see this 50 pips stop loss. Then my target is much as 1 to 4.16. So this is going to be, I'm breaking 50 pips and I'm going for 205 pips. Now this word of 1 to 4. And you can see, so well, before you enter the trade, make sure this trend line taken out and it's being retested. So at the break and the retest, that's where you want to take your entry and take it all the way down to this point. And sometimes you might not have the retest, but if you see like this kind of Marabuzu candlestick, this particular one, if you see it, that is the one that breaks this place and closing below it, so you can take your entry. But your stop loss must still go above this level. The stop loss must still be above this level. So that's why I take the trade and the target all the way to this green bar around 0.770. So you can see 0.770. So that's where my target is going to be. And this is all I have for this week, for the forecast of this week on USDCHF. So you can do your own analysis before placing the trade. And tell me what you feel about this setup in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Before we go, let's see if I can see. I'm seeing something like a trend line above here. So you can see like this, like touch here, and then I connected it to this second one. So this is like first one, yeah, I connected to this second one, then third one. So this is like a third bounce on the trend line. Yeah, this is like a third bounce on the trend line. So if you watch my forecast on GBPUSD, which I dropped on the 27th September, you actually see this similar set of the third bounce of this trend line, the drop off. So this is exactly the same thing that is happening on USDCHF. And you know that the third bounce always does the trick. The third bounce is always the strongest, so it's going to be a very juicy one. So just wait for this counter trend line to be broken. Since we are not on our chart, so wait for this trend line to be broken and it kind of a need to pull back to this one. Then you take the sell all the way to this down. But I see no reason why price shouldn't drop to 0.770. And this is all what I have for this week. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and don't forget to turn on the there so you don't stay out of the when I drop something like this. And I see my other subsequent